good purpose. What is it about this time of year? There's always a strong pull, isn't there, toward the kitchen. And so many of you tell us that making homemade pie is on your bucket list. Since it's a pinnacle achievement for the aspiring home cook, we are going to pie school, people. Our instructor today is the one, the only Cy Foster. We are so excited. We've been talking about doing this for a while because, true confessions, your food friend here, I've never made a pie. I have never made a pie.
I know, when you told me that, I was like, what?
She about fell over when I told her that. So why? Why pie? Why is that the crowning jewel?
I don't know. I think a lot of the reason why people are so endeared to pie is because it reminds them of, you know, holidays and their family and
grandma.
Yeah. Yes, good cooking and we've kind of, I think it's just a lost art. A lot of people just, once, you know, big box stores started making pies and you could buy pie a lot of places.
And buy good pie.
Yeah, and people got busier
right.
and they just thought, this is good enough. And it's just so much better if you make it at home.
So what is it for you though? Is it the taste or the satisfaction that I made that?
I think it's both. It's really, it is, for me, there are only a couple places that I'll buy pie where I feel like, oh, this really tastes good. But also, it's just, I think we just have that need and desire to create. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's through baking. And I think for a lot of people, this is something that's really attainable.
Really?
So, yes.
Really?
I made a pie this morning. I started at 6:30. It was in the oven just a little bit after 7.
Okay.
So it doesn't take a lot of time. It takes more time baking than it does to put it together.
All right, here's what's exciting. Cy is not just going to teach me and not just going to teach you. We are opening up our Studio 5 kitchen today for a learn along experience. 3 viewers are joining me. Come on in, ladies. This is part of a new concept here this season on the show called Viewers Learn Live. How are you?
Good.
Are you ready to learn live?
We're ready.
Yes. Let's do introductions, can we? So this is Becca, and you earned the family title of sister-in-law, right?
Yes.
Just moved back to Utah from New York. One little baby girl.
Yes.
How old is she?
She's 6 months.
Oh my gosh, awesome. We've got Hillary in the mom in the middle. You're the grandmother too of 4 kids, I understand, 4 grandkids. And Kenzie, you earned the title of sister and daughter in this case, and you're a stay-at-home mom. You love to shop, paint, and cook meals for her family. Does that sum it up?
Sums it up.
Now, show of hands, who has made a pie before? Hand. No hand. No hand. Right here. Right here. We're in this together. Cy, are you ready? Are you prepared?
Yes.
Okay, throw on your aprons, ladies. We're going to get busy. Cy, you're breaking this down into 4 steps for us. So what's step number 1?
Okay, we're going to do, first of all, we're going to do the pie crust.
Okay.
And so we're just going to go through the basics of pie crust. And
all right.
This is what I think really throws a lot of people off. They just say, oh my word, and they go to the store and they buy pre-made crust.
Yeah.
You never want to do that.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Kenzie, doesn't the crust sound kind of intimidating? Yeah, a little bit. Assume your stations, ladies, and Cy, where do we start?
Okay, well, we're going to start with flour, and we have given, each person has 2 cups of flour in their bowl.
Okay.
And one of my tips is, don't start out with a small bowl. You would not want to make pie crust in a bowl this big. Okay, but a lot of people they think, oh, I don't need that much space.
Right.
It's better to have more space. So we've got 2 cups of flour, and I just use all-purpose flour.
Okay.
So we're going to add salt to this, and it's a teaspoon of salt. So if you ladies want to measure out a teaspoon of salt, we're just going to put our salt in each one, and I usually just use sea salt. If you're using a coarse salt, a super coarse salt, you don't want to use the type that you would use to make ice cream, but if you're using a coarse salt, use a little bit less.
All right.
Okay, so we've got the salt in. The next thing I recommend is, a lot of people are kind of put off by this, but I highly recommend shortening.
Really?
And yes, because it makes the best crust. I've been making pies for over 35 years, and this is probably how I won my husband over.
Oh, there it is. I believe her, Hillary, right? Yes. We're putting our life in her pie hands. Yes. Absolutely.
So I really like to use these sticks because they're super easy to use, and all you have to do is slice them in half. And I like to use half butter flavor, half regular. So it's not half butter, it's half butter flavor shortening and half regular.
And you're reaching for Crisco. Does that name brand matter?
Yeah, no, I have a friend who, you guys can go ahead and cut these up. So take a half of a cube of each one. There's some more there.
Half of the butter flavored, half of the regular.
And half of the regular.
Okay,
and I'll give you that. And then when you put it into your bowls, you want to cut it into tablespoon sizes. So this is measured out in a 1 cup increment in the cubes. So it's so easy to deal with.
Okay.
So once you get it in there, if you you can cut it. So if you want to take this and just kind of cut it up, that would be great.
Cut out the butter into bits.
Yeah, and I just do it in my hand. You can just pick it up and just cut it.
Beautiful ring comes off. Can I hold?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
I will be your ring holder.
Thank you.
So at this point, and it doesn't have just big chunks inside of the bowl, okay?
And that's so what?
So you're
It'll break
doing
up
great.
in here, Si, when we mix it all
Pardon
together?
me? Yeah, it's 1 cup all together. So we each need 1 cup, and then here's the other one.
half.
So you need half of this as well.
Okay.
I'll just, whoops.
So far,
I
so
need a
good.
knife,
Everybody's
yes.
looking good. I'm just the
Okay,
observer.
so I'm going to give you this, and then go ahead and cut that up.
I know, I like that.
And you don't have to worry about small pieces. Just throw it in there in big chunks. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut these big pieces of shortening into the flour. And
Okay.
this is the part where I think a lot of people have problems.
Yeah.
So what we do is we use, this is called a pastry cutter. And if you don't have a pastry cutter, you can actually use 2 knives. Let's pretend this is a knife, right?
I don't have a pastry cutter.
Okay, so
I'm
you could
watching.
use 2 knives,
Okay.
like butter knives, and just go back and forth in a cutting motion, turn the bowl, back and forth in a cutting motion, turn the bowl, same thing over and over. But since we have these nifty little things, and really you can get this at the dollar store. You could get this anywhere.
Okay.
And I have a brand that I like, but
What is it?
it's this brand. It's I'm not sure what it is, but it's a professional quality one. But just because it's really easy to wash, you don't have to worry about throwing it in the dishwasher.
Okay.
So this is the big trick here, is you want to get this in the bowl, and then remember, it's called a pastry cutter. So you don't ever want to stir with it. You just want to go down in a cutting motion.
I laugh because it has a handle and I would
that's
totally
it.
stir.
So just go ahead. Just go to it, and then we just want to go down. Perfect. This is so good.
Okay, is this a good
And
stopping
then-
point, Si?
Yes, and then
Okay.
just beat it against the side to get
right
the
here.
shortening off of the pastry cutter.
Okay.
Okay.
They're going to continue to work that crust, that dough, and we're going to pick up with part 2. What are we doing next, Si, when we come back?
Next, we are going to get the pastry all ready and roll it out.
Okay, ladies, you having fun so far?
Yeah.
It's looking good so far, so I'm feeling pie for lunch.
These
This is
guys
awesome.
are experts.
All right, welcome back to Pie School in the Studio 5 kitchen. I'm here with Si Foster, our trusty instructor, and also Studio 5 viewers. We've got Becca, Hillary, and Kenzie. Si, catch us up to where we're at in the pie process.
Okay, so we've rolled out the bottom crust, and we've got that sitting here. We're going to put that in the pie plate in just a minute.
Looks
but we're
great,
making,
ladies.
yeah, they did a great job. It's perfect. It's ready to go. And now we have the filling that we're making.
Okay.
So one of my tricks with the filling, and one of the ways you can make apple pie really quickly, is to use this. And this is, I don't even like to make apple pie unless I have this anymore.
Okay, show us how it goes.
So this is an apple peeler slicer core. You just take the top part of the apple.
Does anyone own one of these? Oh, you do, Hillary?
They're
Okay.
so awesome, and most people don't use them to make apple pie. And you just start cranking, and it peels the apple, it slices it. I should have stock in this company. And then you just pull it off and it's ready to go. We just slice it in half and put it in the bowl.
Okay.
And it's, it's all
Nice.
ready. It's taken the core
Well, Hillary
out.
has one.
Super
Now
simple.
Kenzie, Becca, and I want one, right?
So, yeah, so this is really simple. So we've got the apples in here.
Okay.
Now we're going to put in sugar. And the other thing is if there's a little bit of peel, I don't get worried about that. It's just not a big deal.
Really?
It's going to bake, yeah, it's just going to bake into the pie.
It won't make it tough? It won't make it chewy? Okay.
No, it is so good. I mean, I just don't worry about that. And so we've got all the apples in here. We've got some cinnamon in. We're putting about a teaspoon of cinnamon. And we're going to put in cranberries. And I just use fresh cranberries.
Yum.
And I always buy extras, so you guys can just dump those in.
Did anyone's mouth just start to water when she said fresh cranberries?
Yeah.
Becca's like, yeah,
So
happy there
go
too.
ahead and put the cranberries in, and then yeah, that's okay.
What was the question?
There was a
There was a
little
little bit of water. We
Oh, okay.
washed those out. So
Okay.
you want to try to get most of the water out, but that'll be fine. Okay, so we've got the cranberries in, the apples, the cinnamon. The other thing that makes this really good is a little bit of almond flavoring. So a teaspoon of almond flavor in each one of those. And then we're going to put sugar in, so about 1.25 cups, which sounds like a lot, but the cranberries are super, super tart. So
Okay.
you have to kind of compensate. When I make a regular apple pie, I usually put about 3/4 cup of sugar. But when I do cranberry apple, the cranberries are so tart that you have to put more sugar in.
Counteract that.
Okay.
All right, it's looking great. Kenzie, anything surprising you about the process so far?
It's a lot easier than I thought it
Yeah,
would be.
that's what I'm thinking too. Hillary, what are your impressions?
Yeah, it just, yes.
Coming
It's
together.
a lot easier.
Okay, it's coming together. Si, what's our
They're
next
doing
step when we
great.
come back?
Okay, we're going to put the crust in, we're going to put the filling in, and then we're going to start working on the top of the pie.
That's where I get a little nervous, right?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, we're coming back for that. Thank you so much. Keep busy, keep working. This is so fun to learn along. You've been following along. We have 3 Studio 5 viewers and our food expert, Cy Foster. We've been learning the basics together of putting together a pie crust and preparing the filling. And now things are really taking shape. Everyone's still having fun? We're still standing?
We are.
We're still excited to eat pie at the end of the day?
Yes.
All right, Cy, take us home.
Okay, so we are at the first station here. We're just showing how we are unfolding the crust.
Okay.
And now this crust will be ready to be
How
filled.
delicate is pie crust?
Okay, so that's something that people get really nervous about, but here's the deal.
Becca's like, yeah,
right?
Speaking of.
If it falls apart, it's not a big deal. If this falls off, you can just press it back in. And that's one thing that I love about this recipe is it's really easy to work with.
Okay.
It's not like, oh, you know, if it falls off, you're done. Yeah.
Okay.
No, so this is really simple. So now
Becca and I breathing easy together. We can't ruin this, right?
So Becca's ready to fill that. She's going to fill hers.
Okay, hey Hillary, what you got?
Mine is filled.
Hers is filled and ready to go. And so with this pie, one thing you want to remember to do is kind of mound it up in the center, because when your pie bakes, it's going to settle. And if you don't have it mounded up in the middle, it's going to sink, which you don't want.
No.
You want it to be beautiful and kind of mounded in the middle.
We want it to swim
Yes,
into our mouths.
yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
you want to kind of mound that up in the center.
Okay.
And the apples are a little bit smaller this year. It's harder to find the larger size Granny Smiths. So just make sure that when you're looking for the apples, that you get the larger size Granny Smiths, or you compensate by adding maybe a couple more apples to this recipe.
All right, looking good, Hillary. Now, moment of truth, Kenzie.
Okay.
Moment of truth. We're topping it off.
Okay, yes. So Kenzie's is all ready, and she has hers filled. She's got the bottom crust in. Do you want to put some butter on that? Because I always top it with just like a tablespoon of butter that's cut up, and we put that
on
around
top of the filling?
Yes.
Okay.
And that helps give it a really
Oh.
great flavor.
Sure.
And then and it makes sense. If you look at butter, it's solid. It's going to melt when you bake the pie. And then when the pie settles, it's going to, you know, firm back up again. It's going to help your filling stay together.
Okay, so butter goes on top,
Right.
and then what are the instructions for the crust?
Okay, so now she's got the crust rolled out. Do you want to show us how you get this crust on top? We went
like,
through
I
this
sure
on the
do.
bottom.
I
we
sure
went through
do.
this on the bottom crust, and now she's going to put hers on top.
Okay.
And go ahead and just
Kenzie, our
fold
pie life
yours
is in
up.
your hands right now. No pressure. I
No
mean, you do have a
pressure.
camera over
Yeah.
your shoulder, right?
Oh, yes.
Fold it.
Good job.
Okay. So you do it halfsies.
Yeah, you can, or you can do a quarter, whatever
Okay,
you
all
want.
right.
But she just did hers half. It's just like folding laundry, right?
Well, I've
it's
done that,
super
right?
easy.
Right, Hillary, we've done that.
Okay, so now
Okay.
she's got it on top, and then we're going to just finish it up.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. Hold off on that. I want to see how you finish off those edges. Can we do that
Okay,
next?
yes.
You guys are doing
Sure.
awesome. Seriously, so good. Pie School continues in just a minute.
Like butter knives, and just go back and forth in a cutting motion. Turn the bowl, back and forth in a cutting motion. Turn the bowl, same thing over and over. But since
We have learned about the tools, the techniques. We have been taking you to Pie School all this hour on Studio 5. It is the real deal, and all from scratch. We made crust, we made apple cranberry filling, and Studio 5 Pie School is about ready to wrap up. Cy Foster has been our trusted instructor. Don't we love her?
Yes.
Like the perfect teacher. She's helping me and our Studio 5 viewers, Becca, Hillary, and Kenzie, master the pie today. We've got about 3 steps left to finish. We're starting with kind of the edging, right?
Right. Okay, so we've got our top crust on. And at this point, what I do is and it's okay that there's all this overhang. You actually want this. So you can do 2 things. You can either gather it and pull it all under, which is what I do.
Okay.
So I just kind of go under, and if there's a huge piece of, let's see, like on this side, there's kind of a big piece.
Yeah.
You can pull a little bit of that off and just set it aside. We might need that to patch
But you're
something
just
up.
rolling and tucking.
So we're just rolling and tucking
Okay.
first. We're going all the way around.
Go for it, girls.
And you're sealing the juice from the pie in.
Okay.
That's why this step is important.
Do we care
So
about
we're
it
gonna
looking
go all the
pretty,
way
or will that
around.
look
So
pretty when we're done?
We're going to fix it.
Okay, oh.
So as soon as we get it all rolled and
Okay.
just tucked under, then we are going to fix the edge
And
of
what's
the
the
pie.
fix? What does that look like?
Okay, so let's just show you on this one. And you can do anything with this. Some people get really fancy. They save some of their crust, roll it out, braid it, you know, do whatever. I don't do that.
Becca's like, no, pass.
Becca's like, I am just going to go the easy method.
She's like,
So
give me my A from the beginner course,
I
please.
just use my 2 hands, and I just go along the edge, and I just make a little edge like this. That's
little curve.
all I do. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just make a little, I don't know, what is that? Little duck lips. And then, yeah, and then I just press it with my other finger.
Is this a social
and
media
that's
generation
it.
or what? You just said duck lips when
Yes.
making an apple pie. I love it. I love
know.
it.
And
How's
then I
it
just
coming
go
down there,
along.
Kenzie?
That's it.
Oh, I think it's going
We doing good? Hillary,
Yeah.
looking good? All right, Cy, what do we cover it
Okay.
with, or do we cover it before we
so,
bake it?
Yeah, so then, we want to do the egg wash. So we've got a little brush, Do you guys have a brush?
We have a
Someone
brush.
Pass a brush down. Okay, and we just dip this in some beaten egg. And I just do egg. I don't do egg and water, or egg and milk, or just the egg yolk or the white. I do the whole egg.
Just egg.
And we beat that up, and then we're just gonna brush the top of the pie because it makes it really pretty. If you do a pie with and without the egg wash, you're going to see that the one with the egg wash is going to be a little shinier and prettier.
You'll notice.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it just, and you don't have to do it, but I think it's a nice little step. And if you get a little too much like that on, just swish it around.
Becca
It'll be
just
fine.
hiccuped in her throat. But contain that egg, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Contain
You don't want a
that egg.
scrambled egg on top of your pie. But okay.
What
and
are our
then,
baking
And
instructions?
then let's go. Okay, so we're going to do this on the bottom shelf. And some people are confused by that. When I say bake your pie on the bottom shelf, I don't mean set your pie on the bottom of the oven. I mean put the rack on the very lowest shelf. I have people ask me this all the time.
That would be me. That would be me.
So put the rack on the very lowest setting.
Okay.
And then put your pie on the bottom of the oven. That will ensure that the bottom of your pie gets browned and the top doesn't get over browned.
Got it. Got
So
it. So how can
that's
we
it.
prevent an
Okay.
overcooked crust? Any tips for
Okay.
that?
Yes. So we take a sheet of foil like this. So I just take a square, I fold it in half, and then I cut out a half moon shape like this.
Oh.
Super simple. You don't need
Hillary's
any
leaning in for the
fancy.
angle.
Oh,
There it is.
You don't need
There
any
it is.
fancy device.
Oh, I love
That's
how
it.
simple you've made this pie.
And then, hi. Then you
Oh.
have this hole. And then
Hello.
all you do, let me just show you on this pie.
This is before we bake it?
Yeah, you just put it around the edges, and then it will prevent your pie from getting too brown on the outside.
What?
So that's
What?
it.
Really nice.
Raise your
Yeah.
hands, throw
Super
flour in
simple.
the air if you just learned something really big. Yeah, all of it.
really
that was so
simple.
fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you could do
So-
it now?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, they're finishing off.
You want to make sure and cut the slits in because you want the steam to escape.
To
That's
vent,
the last
to
thing.
ventilate it.
Right, so
All right.
whatever design.
We do have a finished pie sitting in the corner of the kitchen. Maybe
Yes, we
taste
do.
when we come back.
Yes.
That seems like an appropriate way to finish pie school. You guys, great job. We're going to post these pie school clips on our website if you want to pull up a video tutorial, and also head there for this apple cranberry filling we used. That recipe comes to us from Sai and her website, A Bountiful Kitchen, which we strongly recommend bookmarking as well. It's all right there on the recipe tab at studio5.ksl.com. There is the reason our teacher's name Sai rhymes with pie. This is amazing. Cheers to Sai. And
Thank
cheers to you
you.
ladies. We did it. We're having a pie party. Flour is flying, and we're so proud. Thanks, you guys. Kenzie, Hillary, and Becca. This was so much fun. Sai, thank you.